So today we're going to be doing a bit of a different series where I compare two main streaming brands. Today we're going to be comparing the Roku brand, which as you can see, I only have one in box, but I do have some sticks and some boxes and I've tested almost every model out. So we have the Roku over here compared to Fire TV sticks. So we have our Fire TV Cube, we have our sticks. I didn't want to limit it to just Roku sticks or Fire sticks because at the end of the day, every device is essentially the same. It's just small differences between a stick and a box. Typically, people think boxes are more powerful, but that's not always the case. Now, what will we break down in this video? Well, it's really simple. We will be breaking down the operating system. What does the operating system allow you to do? What does it limit you to do? I'll break down some of the key features and advantages of each brand. We're going to talk about what accessories come in the box and what the difference in the ports are, the USB and the Ethernet ports on the back of the devices. And of course, we're going to briefly talk about the price. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button right down below. Give this video a big thumbs up. And like always, for the first hour to 2 hours of this video, I will be answering all of your questions down below. So make sure you drop a question and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. So the first thing I want to break down is the operating system because that's an important aspect of the device. So for this section, we're going to head over to the PC. I'm going to break down some of the advantages of each operating system and what some of the disadvantages are of each one.
So the first system we're going to venture in with is one that I am far too familiar with, and that is your Fire TV device, as we can see right here. Now you're going to notice with the Fire TV, and this goes on all their devices, it is a very loaded operating system. So you see advertisements, you see a lot of different thumbnails for recommendations and apps that you use. But most of all, you see advertisements. So Amazon loves to advertise Prime Video shows, products you might like, things you might enjoy. So they really go out of their way. And this is one of the reasons why they've blocked custom launchers or tried to, for the most part, because they want you to stare at their advertisements and anything they're promoting you as much as possible. So that's a major downside to their operating system. Now, with that being said, this does run an Android-based operating system. So what does that mean? Well, if we go to our Fire TV here, you're going to see developers options. Now you're going to see the option apps from unknown sources. What this means is we can install pretty much any third-party application, any Android app that isn't available in the usual Amazon App Store, and I'll show you that right now. We can pretty much install on this just by using a third-party method like downloader, etc. Now, they do still have a very full app store, a lot more than the Roku. Actually, Roku is very strict on what they allow in their app store. Amazon has most of the Android stuff that the Google Play Store has, but not quite the same selection. So they've continued to improve it as time goes on, but it's definitely overloaded and convoluted a little bit. Now, the one thing a lot of people ask me about is customization. And if you go into settings on your Fire Stick, there is 100 different things you can customize. Everything from your audio video to your applications to live TV to your individual profiles. Fire Sticks and Android-based streaming devices are made for customization. They are made to play around with and made to change up and explore. So overall, the Fire Stick does have a pretty neat and easy to use operating system. However, it is a lot more complicated than the Roku, which we're going to go over next. But big advantage, it can install third-party apps very easily. Okay, now it's time to talk Roku a little bit. Now, just logging onto Roku for the first time, you can see how simple it is. They have everything laid out where you can just easily access your live TV, your streaming apps. They have literally a section just for free content. What is the best free content that's available in your country? Your save list, your search, your streaming store, which is basically their app store where you can download any streaming app they allow or they've made available. Obviously, these are all legal applications, so you can't expect any of the third-party stuff. Now, I want to talk about side loading really quick. So the Roku is a closed system, which means for the most part, you can't install any third-party Android applications on this. You really are stuck with whatever they've included in their streaming store. Now, there is some ways to sideload a few things on it from what I remember, but it's very few in between, and it's a little bit more of a process than what we're used to. Now, they don't throw ads at you. They don't throw all this useless stuff at you. They keep it really simple. Okay, there's an ad on the side. But you can see with the Fire Stick, they've really done everything they can to push ads towards you, where here they just have a few small ads here or there. They also, of course, have their Roku channels, which has a huge amount of live TV channels completely free from your Roku device. And these are easy to access. They're free channels. Roku makes it available in every country. I highly suggest checking this out just for this feature alone. Makes it way more worth it. One thing you don't really get a ton of in Roku is customization. They have a few settings here or there, but it's really just basic in terms of, hey, here is your video setting. Let's just keep it at automatic because that is going to give you the best option. Here is your audio. Let's just keep it at automatic because that's going to give you your best option. There is no further developers options or any crazy settings you can really change. You're really stuck with what's on here, and that's what Roku is. One thing people love about Roku is its ease to use. It is a simple device. It's easy to use. Everything is laid out flat and simple, and you really can't mess it up.
So let's talk about some of the key features with each device and each brand. And I want to start with the Firestick because I talk so much about it on this channel. So Roku, just go in your corner right now. Nobody wants to see you. So I think the main feature with the Firestick is pretty obvious, and that's the built-in Alexa system. So Alexa is one of the best and most powerful built-in, I guess, sort of AI. Now I put that in quotations because it's more of a search engine than it is an AI. And this allows you to really customize and connect and intertwine your Alexa and Amazon Fire TV universe, everywhere from your Echo Dot to your Fire TV to maybe your Echo Show are all able to communicate with each other. This really allows you to do a lot of cool text-to-talk features and a lot of features like shut your devices off, turn them on, go to Netflix really quick. It really is pretty unlimited. Now, another main advantage of the Fire TV system is the customization. Now, because it's an Android-based system, this means there's tons of different settings, tons of different third-party apps you can install, and it gives you a wide open universe. Now, Amazon has started to block some features in the last few years, such as installing custom launchers, and that is because they just always want you on your home screen. They always want to feed you ads and feed you content. So yes, Amazon's Fire TV devices are ridden with advertising, and that's of course a major downside. Now otherwise, I will say these devices are built to last. I've had the same Fire Stick for like 4 years, and I don't think I've ever even had to restart it. The remotes are extremely well made, and Amazon has continued to improve them and make them more powerful. Okay, Fire Sticks, you can, yeah. So let's talk Roku. Now, Roku is a device that I don't give a lot of love to, but it has a very important niche, and that niche is ease to use. I always suggest Roku for an older audience that just wants a simple system. Now, we took a look at Roku's operating system, and you can see it's easy to customize, it's easy to move around inside, but there's not a lot of settings to mess around with, and there's not a lot you can install on it outside of the device. Roku has created a whole universe that really requires no help from anybody externally since it's so easy to use. Now, Roku's main feature is their content that they give you. Roku has Roku channels, which is also available on a lot of other devices, however, not in some countries. And these channels are going to give you access to Roku Live TV, which is hundreds of channels, in some cases completely free. On top of that, they also make it easy to use the third-party apps, which means you can always access Tubi TV and all these other ones with just a click of a button. The system itself is very well made, as we've seen, and the remote is okay at the very least. A lot of people tell me that they love the headphone jack feature that's in the remote. It's just supposed to be super useful, I guess. Okay, so let's talk price really quick. So Fire TV devices are often categorized as the cheapest streaming devices on the market, apart from really cheap Android boxes. And that is because they have everything from the most expensive to the mildly priced in the normal Fire TV sticks. But honestly, the Roku is just as competitive. They can go as low as $20 and sometimes even lower when they're on sale, up to $100+ when you're talking about some of the 4K Premiere models. In terms of pricing, I would say both of these devices and brands are very comparable to each other. You're really not getting ripped off either way. It just depends on what system you want to go with. Price-wise, you'll always be able to find one that's very comparable to price to the Fire TV models. So now I thought I would line up 3 of the main devices from each category. Unfortunately, I couldn't find my Roku stick, so we're not going to break that down. But I have our Fire Stick, I have our Fire TV Cube, and we have our Roku device. So starting with our Fire Stick, and the Roku stick is very much the same. These are just HDMI sticks that plug in via an HDMI port. Now the Roku one does come with an HDMI extender, which means you can easily connect it. I don't have that right now in front of me, so I won't show that to you. Now the only port it has available is a USB micro port. You can buy an adapter to add a USB port, which is extremely useful, obviously, on the Fire Stick for installing third-party stuff. Otherwise, this is a very compact unit. Now, as for the Fire TV Cube, that's a little more easy to compare the two. Your Fire TV Cube, this is the newest model, the 3rd generation, comes with a USB port, a network port, HDMI in, HDMI out, so you do get that additional HDMI in, the IR extender, and then your power port. Now, it also has these top utility buttons, which is everything from mute Alexa, your volume up and down, and then of course, this is your home button. It has a really nice, simple design. Now, the Roku isn't quite as fancy. You do have your Ethernet port, you do have your one USB, but you have no HDMI in, and you just have a power port. Otherwise, it's not super functional. The one thing I do like about Roku devices is they always have a very convenient reset switch. This one is just on the bottom and it's super easy to push. So I appreciate that feature. Now, as for the remotes, the Roku remote is a lot heavier than that of the Fire Stick. It's thicker, but it does have that headphone jack, which a lot of people really like that feature. It also has the volume buttons on the side, which make them really easy to press. And then of course your streaming buttons at the bottom. Otherwise, it's very similar to the Fire Stick remote. The Fire Stick one, a lot smaller, a lot more compact, and a lot less keys. Your volume button is just in the middle there, so there is no side buttons. Overall, I do prefer the Fire Stick remote, the Fire TV remote. It's just more compact and I just find it's way cleaner. This one, every time I drop it, the back falls off, which is kind of annoying, but I guess just don't drop it. So which device do I prefer? I prefer the Fire Stick all day, every day, and it's just because of the customization options. I don't like to be limited by the operating system. So the Roku can be as powerful as it wants to be. It can have out of this mind AI enhancement, but at the end of the day, you are ridden to what Roku allows you to install. At least Amazon hasn't taken that leap yet. Who knows if that ever happens, to blocking your installs and doing all this other stuff. However, we have seen them do more and more. Now, doesn't mean Roku is a bad device. I think it does have its niche. And if what I showed you that it offers today is what you need, then it's still a great option, and it's one of the more affordable streaming devices on the market. Thank you guys for checking out today's video. If you enjoyed it, check out this one here where I show you how to get the top 5 free streaming apps on your NVIDIA Shield. Check you guys in the next one.